Welcome back to For the only place on the internet gives you the tube-in free guarantee. Hand check. Pardon me. I just had lunch. Oh, excuse me. Oh man, that stinks like pickled sausages. Anyways. Oh yeah, tube-in free guarantee. Are we making fun of Jeffrey today? Are we making fun of Jeffrey? You know what? I'm tired, Jeffrey. I'll cut you some slack today. No masturbation jokes today. All right, so let's get on with it. So, welcome back to 4 of Alphas. Welcome back, Alphas. So we got some boppers. I just recently started Flint napping. Hold on. I don't know why I say hold on all the time. I can just pause it and you never know. But anyways, as you can see, it's not flint, it's not chert, it's not it's not rock, it's glass. Obsidian, if you want to get all funky with it. But these are what I did, and these I started out with these. Now I was trying to be cheap, and I thought to myself, well, you know, this is cheap and they're heavy and they could work, and they certainly did as far as a bopper is concerned, but not very well. And obviously, I had no idea what I'm doing, so I didn't even really know that this was not working as well as it should. So I said, okay, fine. I'll buy some boppers because everybody's using these copper boppers, and I'll buy one of those. How expensive could a piece of wood and some copper be? Well, let me tell you, it can be real expensive. I get it. Like, copper is it's getting pretty expensive as far as materials are concerned. I mean, it was always more expensive than steel, but yeah, it's up there, and boppers are stupid expensive. This is an 1.5 inch that I built. The way I build these is I'll take a screw and then some washers, and I'll kind of do this, and then I'll stack them up, 4 or 5, and like this. Dishwasher would be, that would be pretty good for this one. Maybe a skosh too big for that. Yeah, skosh too big for this. But it would be pretty good for this one. Maybe this is even the size I used. But you take these and you stack them on here from 4 or 5 thick. Then you take it, drill a hole, because otherwise you'll split it. Drill a hole. And then screw this in with the washers and whatnot. Now, the reason you want to do that is you want to weight these. These are all pretty heavy at the head. Even this little guy. Used a little screw, little washers. It's pretty heavy. Same with this little guy. But yeah, I did this for all of them. And once you got 4 or 5 washers in there, take some epoxy. You can see I put some popsicle sticks and some toothpicks. This is a piece of alder that I found out in the woods. It was cracked. I filled it with some epoxy. No big deal. If I have to redo it, I'm sure this will be a nightmare to get all that junk out. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long these last. So far, these I've used, and so far they have been really, really solid. Not at all loose or wiggly or anything like that. These are bits of red oak I found. This is hickory. It's a hickory axe handle that broke. I just took a piece of it. So you don't have to spend $50 on one of these. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but they are expensive. And then on top of that, don't spend $40 or $50 on a roll of solder or solder to fill the ends of these, because a lot of people fill the ends with solder, however you pronounce it. You pronounce it the way you want. I'm going to pronounce it every which way I can, in different intervals to confuse everybody. So, yeah, I wasn't willing to spend $50 on solder. So, I spent a couple of dollars each on washers. These little guys, these were about $1 a piece. And honestly, you could probably get away with quite a bit with these, because you're going to have a hammerstone anyways. And then these, oddly enough, this was like 6 and change for the cap. And this too was also 6 and change for that cap. So kind of bizarro pricing. We go from like $1 and change to 6 and change there. Doesn't really compute. And then this is like $6.15, and this one's like $6.75. Not really sure how Home Depot prices this stuff out, but it is what it is, and that's what it is. So all in all, I got, let's see, about $12, $14. Let's call it another 5, 6. Let's call it $20 for all the materials: the epoxy, the washers, the screws. I mean, I had all this stuff lying around anyways. I keep all my hardware. Like, if I take something apart, I got a bin with a lid and compartments, and I just throw all that hardware in there. I highly suggest you do the same, because you never know when you're going to need like a little bolt or a little screw or a little this or a little that. You can just pop open your little tray, and here, I'll show you. Telescope. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you see? And you just throw in your bits and bobs when you take apart stuff. And then when you need something for a project like this, like a little screw or something, you got it. It's no big deal. But anyways, here's the, you can see here kind of what I did. And that would be for like one. And you screw that in. It's weighted. It's very weighty, very heavy. This is heavy. This is clobbering time, you know what I'm saying? For glass. I'm not promoting violence in any way. I feel like I'm close to being monetized. So let's keep our noses to the grindstone. Anyways, but yeah, so this is how I made my boppers. Short video, no big deal. Just kind of do this deal and then epoxy them in. And then if you're using materials from outside, you're not going to have this perfectly round. So is this in? This is in. So you're not going to have this perfectly round. So you can see I got toothpicks in there, and here's a popsicle stick, and you just fill in the gaps, and when it dries, and no big deal. But yeah, I'll certainly be using these. I did test out these. Obviously, I tested these out, but yeah, copper's the way to go. It was a good idea, but for some reason the steel just doesn't. It's like the copper kind of, when you bash something, it kind of just conforms around it. It's tough to describe. It's tough to describe, but yeah, it kind of just conforms around the piece and then breaks. So it's interesting. Where this is more like just smash, and it doesn't really grab the bit of glass, because all I've used so far is glass. I got some stone arrowheads in the other room, but they're like the cheapy, like, oh, buy these, and they're not legit at all. It's all like costume stuff, so don't buy those either. Lessons learned. But yeah, so all in all, don't use these. They're cheap. They're alluring because they're cheap, and you think you'll get away with it. Now, if you wanted to take one of these and like shove it in there, and then use the copper as the outside like a jacket, maybe that would work. But I don't know. Just go with that. All right, everybody, have a great day. Oh, thanks for watching. Oh, and thanks to all the new subs. I'm almost to 100 subs. Thank you, everybody. I never had so many friends, really. I mean, I know you're just a subscriber and all, but you know, I think of you guys as my friends. You come and hang out with me. That's cool, and you know, it makes me feel good. So thank you, everybody, for subbing. And hopefully soon, fingers crossed, we can have a 100 sub party. I know I said 50 sub party. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Thanks, everybody. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.